So call my time, but you weren't really mine, just something to do. Thought I never knew. No surprise, but nevertheless, I'm still stuck in self-defense. No surprise, but nevertheless, I get lost when I look in your eyes. I just want to be next to your I get lost when I look in your eyes. Do you even learning? Do you even leave now, make your escape. You know the fortune favors the brave. So close, just get away. No surprise, but nevertheless, I'm still stuck in self-defense. No surprise, but nevertheless, I get lost when I look in your eyes. I just want to be next to your I get lost when I look in your eyes. Do you even do you even I get lost when I look in your eyes. I just want to be next to your I get lost when I look in your eyes. Do you even do you even all this time I've been holding on so tight, 'cause all that I do was easy to use. So call my time, but you weren't really mine, just something to do. Thought I never knew. No surprise, but nevertheless, I'm still stuck in self-defense. No surprise, but nevertheless, I get lost when I look in your eyes. I just want to be next to your I get lost when I look in your eyes. Do you even do you even leave now, make your escape. You know the fortune favors the brave. So close, just get away. No surprise, but nevertheless, I'm still stuck in self-defense.
Hey guys, hey everyone, how are we doing? How is everyone doing today? I hope you enjoyed the music and the little video at the start there. Yeah, so just let me know if, as usual, as usual, let me know if there's any issues in terms of sound or anything like that at all. That'd be super handy. Hiya, Jack. How are you? How are you, mate? How are you doing? What's the plan tonight, Jack? You're going to be watching the? Yeah, it is. It was a nice little intro. I've had that video for a while actually, but yeah, I thought the music will be a nice touch because I was trying to sort a couple of bits out. Are you watching the game tonight, Jack? Are you watching both matches today and tomorrow? Hi, Wazif. How are you? Yeah, no, wait, let me just get rid of that. There we go. Intro video. Sound is a bit low. Might just be the mic. It's so weird because this it's a decent mic, this. So it must be to do with the it must be to do with the game. So I don't know if you remember. Hi Anas, how are you, mate? How are you, Anas? Yeah, so basically what when I started YouTube I had a bit of an issue. So I started off actually with a snowball mic. They were okay. They're just not as good as, well, I say they're not as good as these Shure mics, but they're not supposed to be as good. So I started off with that, and then moved to this, a Shure mic. They're pretty decent. Everyone uses them. But then I had issues with buzzing, and then I kind of played around a little bit with like gain and stuff like that, and loads of different settings. And I got rid of the buzzing. The problem now is that it's not picking up my voice that much, and then it's like not happy with the P's. I think someone mentioned that it wasn't very happy with the P's last week. So everything just sounded really loud when I was saying P's. So yeah, the mic is definitely something I need to look into. I'm getting a better camera though, very soon. I still need to get a new laptop, to be fair. But it'll be camera first, and then it'll be the laptop for the streams. Because although the streams do last, they last pretty well. To be fair, they don't like. It's very rare that they completely crash out the streams. So, but I'm not happy with the camera, the coloring, and stuff like that. So there's loads I'm not happy with. I'm always trying to kind of make stuff better. Because yeah, I had to catch up pretty fast because a lot of the other guys, obviously a lot of the other YouTubers have been doing it for a lot longer. So they've probably learned all this stuff along the way. But yeah, I'm still learning every day, to be honest. With the normal videos, with the live streams, graphics has never been an issue. I always thought that when I started this that the graphics would be a problem, but I'm quite happy with most of the graphics that they've got. In fact, I should say that my graphics guy won't be happy that I've said this. Like I've probably used about 50% of my graphics, which is not good. So yeah. Hi, I'm good. How are you? Yeah, I'm really good today. Actually, it's been super busy though. Super busy. Just getting everything ready over. It's weird, isn't it? Because although it's the semi-final, although it is the semi-final, there's still loads to kind of get ready. You still have to do the same. You still have to do the content, and obviously, because we're at a serious point in the season, that content requires a lot more thought. You know, it's not just pick fixtures anymore. You know, let's all target. I don't know. Who was bad in the group stage? I want to say Kyrat and Pathos, but I don't think a lot of people did too well against them. You know what I mean, though, don't you? when there's the league phase, you just target the fixtures, don't you? You just buy the best players and target the fixtures. But now it's a little bit more tricky. Whilst everyone does have the same team, you have to, when you make your decisions, you kind of have to take into account whether you're hedging your bets, you want to maintain a good rank, whether you want to go a little bit different, ownership as well. Is there ways to go different? I mean, fortunately, there are ways to go different in UCL Fantasy, even at this stage. And we'll go through some of the things that I think are a little bit different. Glad you like the intro, though. Glad you like the intro. I wanted to go for something a little bit dancey. I do like that sort of vibe. I like all sorts of music, though, to be fair. Anything. How are you, NS? What time is it in Turkey? You've told me before. I don't know when that was. If you are new to these streams, as always, probably should look at the camera for this one. If you are new to these streams, guys, please hit that like button. Please hit subscribe. If you are new around here, I will only say this probably once in the stream. If you subscribe now, you should. I actually did something else pretty fun, to be fair. So when someone subscribes now, I made it because people use the kind of alerts, don't they? A lot of them are quite boring. But I wanted to do something a little bit fun. So when you subscribe now, you should be able to see on screen a little video of Mourinho. It's like a GIF. I need to sort the sound effect out. We're getting there. It's one thing at a time. But yeah, if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe so I can see that video work on screen. That would be nice. Also, again, I'll say this probably just once, maybe at the end, but you can send in super chats as well. It really does support the channel, supports me, supports the channel, and it allows me to kind of add extra bits and stuff to everything that I'm doing. So yeah, I really do appreciate new subscribers, super chats. Again, I'm just really glad that we got to 1K subs. Right, I didn't think we'd. It kind of took a while. Was it underestimated? I underestimated how long it would take me to hit 1K subs. Like, Jenny, it literally doesn't matter how many people are following you over at Twitter. YouTube's hard. It is quite difficult. With full ad, that is. Hi Ricky, how are you? Higher half hour fantasy podcast. Again, if you are new to the channel, please hit subscribe. I do want to make sure that my actually I can probably check on here. Just a sec. Let's just see if my little Mourinho thing pops on screen. There we go, it works. It's better than the normal alert pop-up, isn't it? A lot of people use really boring ones. A lot of YouTubers, they either use little just alerts with text, or where am I going at this point though? Yeah, so yeah, nice little video there of Mourinho. Just 1 hour late from England, I guess. 1 hour late, so it would be 1 hour later. Oh, right, okay, so it's 5 to 7 there then. It's just 1 hour. I probably could have Googled that, to be fair. Hiya, Tom, how are you? I think I'm going full ad. I'm going... Have we got a new subscriber, or is that just me? Is that just late from me? I think that's just late from me. Yeah, I'm going full ad, going quintuple Arsenal defence from quadruple. Would you keep Alvarez to slightly hedge the bet, or go all out and transfer him out for Diaz? Cling on to top 100 with an OR of 97. I want to hold on to top 100, but would love to climb as high as possible. Yeah, I think that what I will say is just on the Arsenal defence, that I think last week was a good example of how good the Arsenal defenders are, because I mean, people who had defenders in that Bayern and PSG game, that wouldn't have gone down well because, and well, it didn't, because we saw Hakimi get an assist in the game, right? We saw him get an assist, but he ended up on 2 points. Pacho ended up on 0 points. So, and I'm not going to say that scoreline is going to repeat again, but I think we're all pretty on the same page that both sides are going to score. I think we were on the same page last week and ended up being a 9-goal fest. Really was a good game though, right? It was one of the best games I've seen anyway. I've seen a lot of games. It's up there. It's up there with the obviously the Argentina France World Cup, but obviously there wasn't as much on the line, was it? That was a final. That was the World Cup final. Whereas this is, I say, just a Champions League semi-final, but you know, you get where I'm coming from. Just on the Arsenal defense, I think you're gaining points even if you don't keep a clean sheet, right? So there's a load of goals in the game again, Bayern and PSG, which is expected. Even if Arsenal don't keep a clean sheet, they're still getting like 3-4 points, aren't they? Because obviously they're not going to concede loads. If they concede, it'll be 1, maybe 2. They're still picking up 3-4 points from like ball recoveries. We saw that last week, didn't we? Gabriel picked up 3, and Saliba picked up 4. So that's 7 points. You compare that to the Hacho, the Hakimi and the Hacho. Hacho's a good name actually. For the pair of them, Hacho. We saw with Hacho last week that they only picked up 2 points combined, and that's a 5-point swing. So yes, it's not groundbreaking, but I think 5 points is quite a lot when everyone's got like similar teams. So not only did those people who, yeah, Hakimi is his confirmed out. Yeah, he's got a right hamstring problem. So yes, Tom, I am trying to answer your question. I do think that quintuple Arsenal defense is all right. It's a decent move. It is aggressive though. But again, even if it doesn't, I mean, the worst case scenario of an Arsenal defense is Atleti win 1-0 and there's a clean and PSG keep a clean sheet. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's a worst case scenario, isn't it? So the only doubt is to keep Musiala or Vitinha. I don't really like Vitinha at all. I'm not keen on Vitinha. He just doesn't do much ever. I think, and like he does play 90 minutes, which is great. I mean, watch him score this week. Like that. I would want someone more direct. We're gonna end up having players like Vitinha and stuff in the final, right? So it's always it can be quite boring in the final because you end up picking a central midfielder. I mean, I did say that, and João Neves did score week, didn't he? Oh, let's start. Superman took him. Maybe he'll play mid last game. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's for sure. I mean, he's a good punt, isn't he? If he does start, that is. I'm going to sound like Hakimi, Martinelli, and Safanov. What do you think? I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would use a transfer on a goalkeeper. Because if you're selling Safanov, I'm assuming you're buying newer, right? Because you want 2 goalkeepers. I wouldn't sell to a goalkeeper just to get 1 goalkeeper. I don't think there's much point in that. I don't think there's much point in selling Safanov to newer either, to be honest. I don't think I'd do that. I would probably sell Hakimi. I'm not really a fan of Martinelli. If we do get the lineups and he's starting, maybe he's a good keep. Just let me know on the sound as well, guys. Yeah, because I am aware it's been a bit ropey live stream. Yeah, make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the subscribe button, guys. We won't get news now for. We won't get team news, will we? Until about 1:45. Because about 1:45. I'm interested to see the Arsenal lineup actually, because you never quite know what you're going to get, do you? There's always like feels like there's always a curveball. Feels like there's always a curveball in the Arsenal defense. They're just random, like Arteta, like something random. Get your questions in, guys. I will be answering questions right up until the 8 o'clock. Well, no, when we 8 o'clock, it'll be until about 7:45. I'll go through my moves at some point as well. That will be closer to the deadline, though. That won't be yet. Anyway, what can we do? We can have a look at the attacking return odds if you want. So this is the these are the goal and assist percentages for Matchday 16. You can find this and a lot of other great stuff over at Fantasy Football Scout, by the way. Should mention Fantasy Football Scout is probably the best place for fantasy content, in my opinion. Nothing to do with me writing it, of course. It's not me being biased or anything because I write it, but I honestly think it's really good because you can check out obviously captaincy. There's captaincy article over there. There's differential article. Hayden Big Four usually writes the differential article, but I wrote the differential article this week. I mentioned about stacking on defenses, what is going to gain rank, what is not going to gain rank. So yeah, literally head over to Fantasy Football Scout prior to every deadline, and there's some really good content over there, team news and stuff as well. Yeah, I don't mind that. If I think a lot of people are considering what's happened to that there. That's so weird. I've just realised that half of my face is gone. There you go. We're back. We're back. You know what happened there? Yeah, so this is if they start. This is the odds on if that player starts. This is the odds on if the player starts. So would you consider newer? Okay, but yeah, okay, yeah, I probably wouldn't get newer. I mean, if you fancy covering off the Bayern defense, then you could always go for newer. But his ceiling's not great, is it? It's like 6 for a goalkeeper, pretty much. I mean, if you're running out of transfers, then running out of ideas to use transfers. I would probably look at selling Zubamendi, get someone a bit more direct. I think. Yeah, I would probably sell Zubamendi. Rigari, I'm on the fence about because I think the Atleti defense is probably around 100 or more in terms of effective ownership. So if you've only got one, if you've only got one Atleti defender, I think you're likely to drop in rank. If you've got one Atleti defender, you probably don't want an Atleti clean sheet. But obviously, having one softens the blow because if you have no Atleti defenders and someone's got like 2 or 3. I'm guessing the majority won't have 3 Athletic defenders. I think a lot of people in like the top ranks and stuff might go for the double because it's differential, right? We get the lineups for the Atleti. So whilst looking at the Arsenal lineup is going to be really super interesting, so is looking at the Atleti lineup because people who want to go a little bit different could go for a double up in the Atleti defense, right? I mean, if you look at Arsenal's recent, their recent scoring form outside of Fulham, it's not been fantastic, has it? Because I mean, you look at their recent game. Yes, they beat Fulham 3-0. Slight surprise. I didn't think they'd hammer him like they did, but you look at the matches before, they scored one against Atleti, one against Newcastle, one against City, none against Sporting, one against Bournemouth, one against Sporting, one against Southampton, none against City again. So in the last like 8-ish matches, Arsenal have only scored more than one goal in one of those games. So that's not me saying I don't like the Arsenal attack. I mean, who's to, we could see them full of confidence this week, right? We could see them, have loads of confidence going into this. Yeah, so on the team graphic, really interesting this week, isn't it? Because you'll see that once again, home side dominates. You can see that basically Kane, the Kanes, the Elises. No, I didn't answer your question directly, did I? I do like the quintupler. If you're going to go for the quintupler, can't even say it. If you're going to go for the quintuple up, though, I would probably be a little bit careful at your rank, Tom, because I think that if you, I just think having Alvarez is like a safe option, because if Arsenal do concede, then it's likely going to be Alvarez in. So I do think it will be safe if you're going to go for the quintuplet to have Alvarez. You could go all out aggressive and go quintuplet on the Arsenal defense, no Alvarez. That is like super aggressive. I mean, if they keep a clean sheet, you're obviously laughing, but yeah, it depends how aggressive you want to be there, Tom. I think. I mean, if it was me, I'm quite. I can be aggressive, but also when I am aggressive, I am a little bit conservative as well. It kind of doesn't make sense, but if I'm going to go aggressive with a move, I want to just have a little bit of a cushion just in case things do go wrong. Because again, like I said, if Alvarez scores and Arsenal, don't keep a clean sheet, then it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. But again, saying that though, do we expect any clean sheets? Yeah, sorry about that, Jonathan. So basically, what happened is that Ad is in Italy at the moment. Dan is in London with his partner. Hi, Jonathan. How are you? Yeah. Again, if you are new to the stream, please hit the subscribe button. I'm not going to say it would be nice to hit 2K by the end of the season, because I think that would be impossible. I would love to get to 2K by the end of the World Cup. I'm really looking forward to World Cup Fantasy. So if you are a regular watcher of like my videos and streams and stuff, then you'll probably not, but you probably will enjoy the World Cup videos, right? Because we did the Club World Cup videos as well. I did the streams for that. I think that was my first ever video and live stream was for the Club World Cup, actually. Yeah. So yeah, you have to be So basically, we and not only was Ad and Dan, not only an Ad and Dan away, we can, but also the Tom who does a bit of editing on the pods now. He's recently took over. He's on holiday, so I think that's enough issues to I think to park it. I mean, there could have been a space. There could have been maybe something with me and Hayden, Big Four. Yeah. I should probably announce this actually. I should probably announce the fact that we are having a new pod member next season for UCL Fantasy. So I don't know. We're gonna bring in Hayden, Big Four FPL over on X. I honestly can't compliment him enough in terms of like he's regularly getting the top 500 rank. He does a load of stuff for Fantasy Football Scout in terms of Bundesliga. He also shares his team weekly over at UCL, over at Fantasy Football Scout, every match day in UCL Fantasy. Like, he does a lot anyway for Scout, so it makes sense to bring him on. So I'm really looking forward to Hayden joining the pod. Based on what you said, Dan, Hakimi and Zubmani might be a sell, and I burn a transfer because I have only one injured and 14 playing players. Yeah, it depends on your team. Was if I think send your team through maybe, and I could potentially see where you use that of a transfer. Okay, so who are the best midfielders and strikers to target if chasing 40-ish points in mini league? I think if you're going to go different, I would probably go for the likes of Diaz or Gokarash. I think the template is probably going to stay at Dembele, Kane. Saying that, a lot of people might switch Alvarez to Diaz or Gokarash. There's not a load of forwards to choose from that can help gain rank at this. I think if you're chasing rank in terms of midfielders, there are quite a lot of differentials that you can go with. I think Musiala is still at a good ownership actually. We will talk through Musiala soon because, like, I'm not 100% on Musiala, and again, I think I mentioned it in my team selection video. Again, we'll talk through that a little bit shortly. But he is on the list. I mean, he's the fourth most likely to score according to the bookies. Score or assist, I should add. He's 1k overall. That's a good rank, really good rank. I'd be happy with that at this point as well. Alvarez, Vitinha, and Hakimi to Diaz, Saka, and Hincapi. Not sure about the defender. I really like that. I mean, if you wanted to go a little bit more aggressive, you could go for Gokarash, but I don't think there's probably need to at that rank. First season I've played. Good, Simon. I hope you've enjoyed the season as well, by the way. I hope you've enjoyed the season. Because I honestly think that UCL Fantasy is the best fantasy game out there, to be honest. There is no rank history. I think there is actually. I think it shows recent ranks. I mean, I can access my recent ranks. Rank's been a bit weird for me in the past couple of years because I think I got so basically I had a bad season last season from what I usually want to aim for. So I think I was like 9k. But I am going for my fourth top 500 finish in UCL Fantasy. So if I can get a fourth, I mean, I said this when I got my third. If I can get a third top 500 finish, I'd be happy with that. Whatever happens after that. But now that I've had a couple of, well, last season was tricky. But now that I've had a couple of tricky seasons, I want to get back into the top 500. I am in the top 500 currently. Obviously, keeping that is proving very difficult at the moment. If I slipped up just once during the past 2 weeks, I would have been in big trouble in terms of the top 500. Yeah, I do agree. The format is better. Look, I love FPL. I do. I love FPL. I love a lot of fantasy games. You probably would have guessed that. In fact, like I can't go a weekend without watching a couple of Premier League matches. I love the Premier League, love FPL. But UCL is just, it hits different, doesn't it? It's just so fun. Whereas FPL feels more like a grind, and it can be very very depressing at some points. Maybe that's a bit of an overstatement there, but it can get very frustrating. Yeah. Because I feel like in UCL Fantasy you can go different, right? Not like massively different, but you can. There's so many players that are returning points in UCL Fantasy week in, week out. But it's just fun, you know. You've got more options and stuff like that with FPL. Although there's obviously, you know, more teams week in, week out, every single week to choose from, more players. It doesn't feel like that sometimes. I'm ranked 1,000 and have Alvarez, but I'll sell him for Diaz and have 2 Atleti defenders. Yeah, I do like the 2 Atleti defenders. I'm not going to lie this week, because look at it this way. I don't think Arsenal are going to hammer Atleti. I don't think they're going to score loads, which then means that the Atleti defenders aren't going to get loads and loads of minus points, right? Because we saw last week with the PSG and mine defenders outside of Upamecano, and like Hakimi got an assist and only got 2 points. That's crazy. Pacho got 0. So even if you have got Atleti defenders, I think they could do all right, even if they concede, right? Simeone to Saka or Hakimi to Hincapi / Pacho. I probably wouldn't get Pacho. I'd probably go for Hincapi. I was surprised at how attacking Hincapi was in the Atleti match. I feel like he had a couple of chances in the box, or at least a couple of opportunities or possession in the box. He was quite attacking Hincapi. And I was watching that game thinking, well, I probably need to get him eventually. Probably very lucky he didn't get an attacking return last week. To be fair, I know quite a few people would have gone there, wouldn't they? So these are the odds on screen for attacking returns. You can see that Bayern completely dominate. You can also see that Arsenal are ahead of the PSG guys, and I probably put that down to home advantage, right? Was if your team Dembele, Kane, Alvarez, Martinelli, Siduri, Kvaratskhelia, Pachos. Yeah, I mean, I'd flag a couple of players there that I think could be worth selling now, as if so. Alvarez could potentially go. Martinelli could potentially go. Pacho could also potentially go. Let's be honest, Bayern are going to score a few goals tomorrow, aren't they? Zubamendi. So if I had to pick 4 players that I were going to get rid of, from there I'd probably go for Pacho. I feel like he's gonna get 0 points again. Zubamendi, because I don't think he's gonna do anything at all. And then third, it would probably be between Martinelli and Alvarez. Martinelli doesn't seem like a safe pick in terms of minutes. Could he come off early potentially? I know it's not all about minutes. Martinelli can be good when he wants to be. He can be very explosive as well, right? But so yeah. Hit like, hit subscribe if you are in the stream, guys. We are obviously waiting for the Arsenal lineup, the Arsenal Atleti lineup. Let's see if we've had any, because I have got I've plugged up Twitter on here currently. I've got Twitter. But let's just see if there's been any news. We've seen a predicted lineup there from. Can you guys see this okay? If I click on that image, will you be able to see it? Not really. But I feel like you guys can see that okay, right? I feel like you can. Predicted lineup is Newer, Davies at left back, Tartan, Pomona, Lima, Musiala, Pavlovic, Kimmich, Kane, Diaz, Elise, Zet Emery. I think Zet Emery is probably the only change. Fabian Ruiz will also come in, yeah, because if Zet Emery is being pushed right back to Kevin Keane, then Ruiz would play. Would start, wouldn't he? So I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any news there. No comments. I'm not good because I'm just the mute. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be. Doesn't seem to be any major news. A lot of Saudi stuff coming through. Yeah, Benzema is bench. Play annoying. My captain in Saudi Fantasy. Yeah, so nothing there in terms of actual news. It would be worth checking, following, wouldn't it? Xavi at Chelsea, hey. No, unfortunately, no podcast this week, Ricky, because Ad is away, and Dan is also away as well. Yeah, I can't see anything. Dan has tweeted that FPL mate has tweeted that Kai Havertz and Odegaard are officially back with the Arsenal team today. Could potentially affect Gokarash. He's also mentioned Eze as well, which isn't ideal, is it? I own Eze, so yeah, let's just get that back off, shall we? Let's get the team back on. So that is my current team. Obviously, 5 transfers, 3 transfers, not 5. 3 transfers. Yeah, so no podcast. Will you do World Cup Fantasy Deadline stream? I will 100% do World Cup Fantasy Deadline. I think it's going to launch. I think it's going to launch about 3 weeks before the start date. I think the start date is the 8th. I think is it the 8th? Pretty sure it's the 8th or the 9th, the 10th of them. Told me in the chat earlier. Pretty sure it's the 8th. One sec. Oh, so it's the 11th. Yeah, the 11th of June, which the 11th of June would be 11th of June would be a Thursday. Pretty random. It's nice that it's going towards the weekend though. Yeah, 11th of July. So yeah, definitely there'll be team selection videos for that. There'll be live streams. I'm probably going to do a bit more content for World Cup Fantasy. You know, outside of because I usually do for UCL Fantasy, I usually do the team selection and then I do the deadline stream, right? So I don't do much outside of that because most of my life is fantasy. Because I obviously work full time fantasy football scout, so I probably work more than I should, to be fair, a lot more than I should rest at. But I think I love it so much, so I just think that yeah, I just think that the World Cup is it's my vibe, it's my jam, right? Any international tour I absolutely love. International fantasy games. Yeah. What I will say though about the World Cup is that they are getting better. FIFA, they are getting better. The Euros game at UEFA are of course really good. They host UCL Fantasy, so that was really good. UEFA Fantasy was really good. World Cup Fantasy is slightly different. Obviously, we had a McDonald's version, and then we had a very dodgy official, like stuff wasn't working. And then I thought the Club World Cup, that was of course also FIFA. I thought that was massively improved. That apart from a couple of issues, I think it improved massively. I loved the extra. Is it the scouting bonus? Was it an extra 2-3 points for if you picked a player under 5% that returned? So yeah, I really like the Club World Cup. I noticed the new branding looks great. What prompted the fresh start? Yeah, I think that the cartoony logo and stuff. I loved that for years. Don't get me wrong. I really did love that. But I think I needed it for the channel as well. Obviously, I think because obviously YouTube now, I probably needed something a little bit more, smarter. Something a bit, yeah, something. And also, if you notice the colors, they are slightly more towards UCL, whereas I think my reactions logo was fully FPL. It like colors and everything. It looked it just looked so FPL. Um, okay as well because it was a lot of FPL content, right? That I was doing, but FPL videos, but it was just too FPL. Yeah, fantasy football communities has actually merged. It's actually merged with Fantasy Football Scout now. So basically I was the editor of Fantasy Football Community for a long time. I really enjoyed it. I put a lot of work into the stuff that went over there, and it not just me, by the way. A lot of contributors, and obviously it got to a point where I think merging it with Fantasy Football Scout made sense, because if you think about it this way, I'll get more coverage over at Fantasy Football Scout because it's the go-to. So now that now that they've merged, these extra games are getting a little bit more love from people in general. Take yeah, I think that, so I started off doing the FPL live streams. You can get your UCL Fantasy questions in as well, by the way, if you want, guys. We are going to get the lineups very. We will go through them. That has a major impact on how we're going to make our moves, by the way. So we will go to those well, but so yeah, in terms of deadline streams, it'll be predominantly UCL, Euros, Club World Cup, but I think I am going to bring the FPL live streams back next season. Although I'm slightly on the fence, because I think a lot of people just watch like Harry, Raptor, Andy, FPL May. I think a lot of people watch them, and they're really good at what they do. So I think once I've built up more of an audience, I think that's and people, more people like watching the streams. That's probably when I'll do the FPL live streams again, because I can talk rubbish for ages when it comes to fantasy football. Like it takes a certain personality to play as many fantasy games as I do, and and do what I do. I just love it. So yeah, I would love to do FPL deadline streams again. I'm not too sure on the Bundesliga though. Not too sure on Bundesliga and Serie A and stuff like that. Saudi, I don't think I would do those sort of videos. It's just because it takes a lot to do. Yeah, no, I do. I really do enjoy these. There's never a time where I'm like, I wish I had loads more people in the chat or in the community and stuff like that, because this is quite quiet. From the chat is quite quiet to what it usually is, to be fair, and it's nice. It's usually, because it can be pretty hectic. And obviously with other YouTubers, I don't know if you've seen chats from other YouTubers. It's just absolutely mental. Like, it's just absolutely mental. Yeah, maybe there is a bit of that. I think I was always going to do UCL Fantasy live streams though. That was just always going to happen. There was never going to be a time where like I didn't do that. Even if like no one was watching me, I would sit here and talk about UCL Fantasy. Because not enough people do it. Not enough people are doing UCL Fantasy live streams. They just don't. And not enough people do content either. And considering like 2 million like people play it. Anyway, I'm going on a whole other rant there about audience and UCL Fantasy and all that sort of stuff. So let me just, I don't know if it's worth probably having another look over on Twitter to see if we've got any more news on the Arsenal lineup, or potentially leaks, etc. So let's have a look. I don't usually go on Twitter when I'm doing a live stream, but here we are. Good time to drop a subscribe, guys, if you haven't already. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. I know. I think there's a couple of other UCL Fantasy live streams. Who else does UCL Fantasy live streams? I'm pretty sure Bobby does them. It's a good point actually. Who is doing live streams? Yeah. Oh yeah. FPL Dylan. FPL Bobby as well. Yeah, he does live streams. There's quite a few people who do UCL live streams. To be fair, a few people. Anyway, not to get distracted there. Right, let's have a look. See if we can see anything. That's good, mate. That's good. I'm glad you like it. FPL MV. I'm not too sure who that one is. I know Bobby. I like Bobby. Dylan, I think, is less active on Twitter. Not pretty sure Dylan's not very active on Twitter. I mean, it doesn't matter if he isn't. Like, I'm just. Oh, that happened ages ago. I need the latest. Oh. Let's see if we've got anything on Arsenal, shall we? Yeah, a lot of that is just a load of rubbish, to be fair. Try the For You page. Vargas will start. Obed Vargas will start against Arsenal. Obed Vargas. So what position does he put in? Is that a central midfielder then? That released 2 hours ago. So, yeah, because I did notice that Atleti played basically their B team. Oh, it's a central midfielder. Yeah. He got an assist. I mean, I probably wouldn't get him in UCL Fantasy. Do much at all, really. Don't want to see you. Any news? Fanatics? No. MLS starts for Arsenal. Solid source. Um. A lot of the stuff I'm seeing is just so boring. I'm sorry for those who have to watch this very boring feed that I'm showing you. like nothing. There's no news. It's probably going to land over at Arsenal first, isn't it? Let me just type in Arsenal. We might as well get it on the page at least, right? They're going to obviously post, and we'll go from there. We'll go from there in a bit. We'll go from there. So yeah, back. This is. Well, I'll keep. That's not loading for some. That's not loading. No Hincapi. Tom, where are you? Tom, where are you getting this news from? No Hincapi. That's not ideal, that. And also, Calafiori is not going to play 90 minutes, is he? Where are you getting this news from, Tom? Because I'll switch back to Twitter so you guys can see what I can see. Evening, Dollar. How are you, Kieran? Just in time for the Arsenal news that I still can't find, that everyone else can for some reason. Why am I not seeing anything on Arsenal? Like, where am I? I bet you if I went on Twitter on my phone, I'd like literally find it instantly. I'm just going to go on my phone quickly and... I still can't find this Arsenal news. They're normally starting according to Marsa. Buzzing from last night, buzzing for tonight. Stadium's rocking already. Sorry about the kind of political news that you guys are seeing. It's not ideal that I still can't find the Arsenal lineup. No one's shared it though. This is the problem. Let me see if... Let me see if a couple of people I know have shared it. Oh, it'll be in my group chat. Oh, of course it'll be in my... Right, I'm gonna retweet this now. Yeah, I've just found it straight away. Like whenever I'm looking for something, guys, just tell me. Go into my group chat. Just please tell me that. Like I should do that anyway. Right. Okay. So I've just shared that on X. So let's take a look at that now. Let's take a look. It is right here. So it's basically are these guys you guys can see that, right? We can see that the Arsenal starting 11 is Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Rice, Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly's a punt, isn't he? He's a punt, but is he going to play past half time though? As a Saka, Gokarash, and Trossard. So Kieran, how let's see that aeroplane video. What was the aeroplane video? The aeroplane video. What is the aeroplane video? Let us see that aeroplane video. Okay, so this is apparently the lineup. I could do with Kieran FPL Discomfort telling me how reliable these guys are. Tom, you probably know that they're pretty reliable as well. So, do you know what? I really like this lineup. I know like a lot of people aren't going to be happy with it, but I think Trossard is an absolute punt and a half, isn't he? He's so active, Trossard. Let me just take a look. Look, if I had to guess on who's coming off early, I would probably put Calafiore in there. Lewis Skelly coming off early. Maybe Gokorash, maybe Trossard. But who, Kieran? Who do you think that Miles Lewis Skelly is going to play the full 90? Because I'm not totally convinced on that. Very reliable. Okay, so we know that that's reliable then, which is good. We know that that's reliable at least. So that would that be Eze in a? That'd be Eze in the number 10. Let me Eze in the number 10 or central mid 4-3-3. Would Eze be in the number 10 then? Or would Kieran, would he be still? Under the games note. You need to see the bench to be more confident for me. Let's only see him being taken off if the game is done or if we are losing and need more attackers. Oh look, my Mourinho thing's come up. Someone subscribed. Thanks for subscribing. I also know that it works now. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit subscribe. Please hit the like button as well. More so subscribe though to stay up to date with all of my UCL Fantasy and FPL content. I also make a weekly differentials video. My top differentials going into each FPL week. And this week actually on that was last week my bonus differential was Bruno Guimaraes. I'm not saying it. Bruno G. He got an assist, but in this week's video, Doku was in it before he scored the brace. Just had Rice and Skelly dropping deep to pass through the lines as a number 10. Okay, I'm more confident about keeping as a in now. Then I think I think I'm much more happy than keeping. Much more happy keeping as a in. Ideally, I would like the Atleti lines to drop as well, so I can look at them together. As nice as looking at that post on Twitter is, yeah. So Gokorash starts. I think a lot of people expected Gokorash to start there, didn't they? Look, I don't mind Amalas. What about Hakimi? He's injured. Yeah, Hakimi is definitely out. So Hakimi's got a right hamstring. So it looks like that they're trying to get him back ready for the final. But whether they do or not is a tough. Well, they might not even progress, right? Scotty won't play 90 and will not be very attacking. Not a good pick in my opinion. As a yes. In number 10, Odegaard, Roll, Saka, Trossard. Yeah. Trossard is a punt though. Trossard is a nice punt. I think most are just going to go for Saka, right? I think loads of people are just going to go for Saka. So I do think Trossard's a good punt. I think Skelly allows people to stack up on the Arsenal defence because there's no Hincapi in there. So yeah, I mean, people are probably just going to go for White. I don't know. Calafiore is so dodgy. Like, I don't think he's. Sometimes I worry about his minutes when he starts because he can come off at like half time and 50-something minutes and stuff like that. I worry for people going for the Arsenal stack. You know, if anyone's going like Atleti, if anyone is going like Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiore, Skelly, that would concern me massively because I just don't know about. I don't know about Calafiori and Skelly's minutes, as obviously Tom you've just said. You know what, I really like Arsenal attackers this week, and I don't just think that. Obviously, a lot of people are going to go for defence, which is fair enough. But I really like. Obviously, I have Eze already too. I like a second attacker, like a Saka or a Gokarash or a Trossard. Rice is a bit too boring for me, I must say. Unless Boricos will be elite, though. Tom, let me just have a quick look at the. Oh, okay. So the Atleti lineup's out as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share the. Just going to share these lineups on X, and I'm just going to kind of focus in on the lineups. There is some punts in there, though, isn't there? There's some punts in that Arsenal lineup. I've shared that. I'm just going to give my quickly. Just going to drop my stream on X one more time because we are heading towards the business end of the stream now, aren't we? We need to start locking in. We need to start locking in those moves now, don't we? Okay, let's take a look. So I've just shared the yeah. So I've just we've got another we've got plenty of time. Got plenty of time. I'm just going to unpin this because this thread's a bit annoying. You guys see that? Yeah, you can see that lineup, can't you? So we've got, in terms of Atleti, we have Oblak playing ahead of Musso, Ruggieri, Coke, Griezmann, he's a punt. Lorente is a punt. Hanko, Pubil, Alvarez, Simeone, Lookman, and Lenormand. So the news about that Vargas starting were in fact wrong. But it's a good team. It's a good team. Atleti have got there. And are they playing 4 centre backs? Oh, Bill, the Norman. What's that? Are they 3 centre backs? So Pubil, Lenormand, and Hanko are all starting. Hanko could be left back. Yeah, but never know what Simeone's going to do. UEFA have got it. UEFA have got its Pubil at right back. Trossard might have a bit of joy down that, down Pubil it. I mean, he can play right back. He usually plays centre back though. I don't think he plays. I don't think Evil plays right back much. Yeah, it's very weird that unless it's surely that makeshift right back makes Trossard juicy. I think Trossard becomes a better option now. And let me just double check that it's not Hanko being switched to right back. I know he's quite versatile. No, he's left back. Yeah, I mean that makes Trossard very interesting now, doesn't it? How much is Trossard? How much is Trossard, chat? Is he quite cheap? You'd think he'd be in the 6-7s. That's 6-7. Sorry in advance. Apologies. Apologies. Do we know how much Trossard is? Do I check? Someone will tell me just as I'm loading. Get your maybe it's about 5 renting. Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is a back 5. That's what I was thinking. So let's have a look at Trossard. Trossard is 7 mil. It's not bad, that is it? To be fair, it's not terrible. That really fairly decent. Don't mind that. I honestly don't mind Trossard as a punt. Is anyone going there? Anyone in chat going for a punt on Trossard? Let me just get my team back up. We don't want to stare at the same lineup all night, do we? Look. Yeah, so this is my team currently then. So I think Hakimi is going to go for me. Hakimi is for sure going this week. Who else is going? Who else should go? Yeah, this is what I mean, Tom. Yeah, so if you wanted to stack up on the Arsenal defense, you could go for Scally. The only thing I'm worried about is Arteta's early subs. Like if he's annoyed, will Scally, Calafiori, Gokarash come off? Ooh, 1-1. Yeah, I mean 1-1 will. I don't think 1-1 would be the end of the world personally. Obviously, for Arsenal fans, if Atleti went through, it would be 2 of 3: Trossard, Musiala, or Saka. Saka definitely, and then it's a case of Musiala or Trossard. Trossard, Musiala might get similar minutes, you know. If that is the case, I would probably go for Trossard. I just don't like that Atleti back line. I like double Arsenal attack as well, and also it would be very boring to just own Arsenal defense and PSG. Everyone owns Arsenal defenders, PSG buying attackers. So if you want to make this week even a little bit remotely fun for yourself, like go for a differential, go for a Trossard, go for a it depends on what you want in terms of rank though, right? Because if you want to maintain rank, then obviously not buying plays as well would be an issue. Alvarez to Gokarash, I don't mind that, to be honest. Yeah, but the thing is, I don't mind Arsenal and Atleti defenders this week because I just don't see them conceding loads of goals. I can see them racking up ball recoveries as well, even if they don't keep a clean sheet. I think last week Saliba and Gabriel combined for 7 points. whereas Hakimi and Pacho combined for 2 points, so there's a bit of a gap there. Hincapi is a killer. Yeah, it's a bit surprising that Hincapi's on the bench tonight. I would say. I think it is a surprise. It is because every predicted lineup that I saw had him in. I don't think having to make defensive transfers is that bad though, because I think you could use it to stack up. You could go for a couple of Atleti defenders. You could go all out on the Arsenal defence. Yeah, I don't see Patrick doing very well at all. Like PSG could score a few goals, so I would probably go for MLS and White. White seems like the next safest option after Gabriel, Saliba, and Raya. Defensive option. He feels like the safest, doesn't he? I think if you look at White's minutes in the Champions League, have a quick look. They're pretty good as of late. Oh, they are. Have a look. He's nice and cheap as well, isn't he? Well, saying that, he didn't. Yeah, so White played 86 against Atleti, 90 against Sporting in the first leg. Didn't play the second leg. Played the second leg of Leverkusen for 69 minutes. 90 minutes against Kairat. His minutes are hit and miss, but when he starts, he usually plays past 65 minutes. So, like, when White has started, he's not had an early sub, I don't think. Oh, he has. Against Olympiacos in Matchday 2, he came off 58 minutes. Well, it's not ideal, really, is it? Not ideal at all. Definitely not. Let me just go back to. I am really interested in the attack and return odds this week. Again, you can find all this over at Fantasy Football Scout. Some really great content over there. Captaincy article, differentials article. I actually wrote the differentials article this week and talked about stacks. What would gain you rank? What wouldn't gain you rank? More so, what would? Look, everyone is going to own 3 Arsenal defenders this week. Like everyone. If you've got 3 Arsenal defensive players, you need them to concede. You need 4. I'm not going to lie, Jack. I'm like slightly worried that Calafiori and Skelly. I would go White first, 100%. I do think that White is most likely to play. I'd probably go White, MLS, and then Cala. I'm a little bit worried about Cala. Let me just have a look at Calafiori's minutes because we know that MLS doesn't play that much, but Calafiori is a bit of a sick note. Like against Kairat, he played 45 minutes. I played 45 minutes. When did Calafiori last play? There's no way he's playing a full game. Surely. Did he play the full game at Fulham? Oh, he did. Was benched against Atleti though. Miles Lewis Skelly came on off at the 60th minute in the cup game with Arsenal. No, Calafiori's minutes are pretty good, to be fair. I mean, in the matches that Calafiori has started recently, he started against Fulham. I still think White feels safer, but then it's just basically it's basically then a shout between Calafiori and Lewis Skelly. Um, you know for a fact if Arteta's not doing well, he's going to take Skelly off, isn't he? Whereas like, yeah, Calafiori he started Fulham, played 90 minutes, didn't play against Atleti, but then he played against Sporting, played the full 90. Played the EFL Cup. No, he didn't. Yeah, I'm not massively convinced on Calafiori or Scally. Calafiori gets fans off the feet and it's chaos cause. I can see why he starts today, but I don't see him starting in the final. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about Calafiori. It's just their minutes in general not good. They're not great usually, but that goes for MLS as well. Um, I think four Arsenal defenders would gain you rank though. I think if you had Raya, Saliba, Gabriel, and White, and also kept the clean sheet, you would probably gain rank. You wouldn't if you just had three though, in my opinion. Again, I don't know for sure, but I think that their it should be above 300%. Like guaranteed, it's got to be. Depends on where you ranked as well, I suppose. But I think four Arsenal players is four Arsenal enough because then it only really leaves you two slots. No, three. Four Arsenal, three slots. One's going to be Safanov. He's going to. The other two, one's Akimi, one's Ruggieri. I mean, he could go through Pamecano buying at home. Hope he scores again. How many goals does Upamecano score? He's only scored one goal in. Oh no, one goal and two assists in the Champions League. In the Bundesliga, he scored. It's just it's not very convincing to be honest. Calafiori does have upside, probably the best attacking fullback. Timber will be back final. Yeah, I think that I would go for White, and then the thing is with White, he's cheap enough to bench in the final, or you can just replace him, right? I mean, he might even start. Don't know. It's quite far away though, so Timber. Yeah, the only problem with captain Gabriel Kieran is if you get 6 or 7 points. Well, say you get 7 or 8 points, and I mentioned this in the captaincy article over at Scout. Say you pick up 7 or 8 points, you then kind of block yourself from captaining an attacker, really, because I wouldn't really want more 7 or 8 points. But then we know what Kane and that are like, don't we? So this lineup has really thrown me. I'm not gonna lie, guys, because like I was expecting Hincapi. If Hincapi was on the lineup, he's an easy, he's an easy ad, isn't he? Hi Mo, how are you? You know if Timber will be back. Alfred, let me just have a look at the Timber injury news. Let's see how he's doing. Even if he is back, I mean, do they want? Also, are not rushing Timber's comeback after he picked up a grade 2 groin injury in mid-March, and that caution is intentional and even how delicate it can be. Although Timber has been working on the pitch, Arteta hasn't given a return date, and the club's medical team are managing his recovery very carefully. This isn't just a brief absence grade 2 groin injury involved. Experts say the recovery window can vary. Yeah, he might not be back, Timber. A lot of people are saying he's out for the season. If Timber's out for the season, then you'd imagine White just plays a lot, right? White does play a lot, to be fair, doesn't he? Recently, so he started against Fulham, came off a little bit early, and then against Atleti he started and played 86 minutes against Newcastle. White played the full 90 against Man City. He didn't play. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to look at my moves soon. I think Due or Musiala to replace. Yeah, so Due or Musiala to replace Lookman. I think I would go for Due. Musiala's just not been down. Between MLS White and Calafiori, who's the least likely to get subbed off before the 60th minute? I feel like White. His minutes have been very good lately. He's also fit. Like MLS doesn't play that much. Calafiori's a bit of a sick note. So I would prioritize. I would put White first. I would put Calafiori second, and probably MLS third, because playing a central midfield, it kind of leaves him open for a sub. Kieran might have different views on that. At some point in the game, Calafiori and White will be taken off Moscara. That could be true. I am worried. I am very worried about the Arsenal defenders, to be honest. Not straightforward anymore. Now that Hincapi's not. Now that now that Hincapi is on the bench, it's not easy to buy an Arsenal defender. Just going back to my team, I don't mind Skelly. I think he's going to come off early, but Kieran, I don't know. Kieran is an Arsenal fan. He all should get 60 before changes. Well, there you go. If Kieran's saying that, then they should all get 60. But I kind of get the feeling that he could come off if Arteta's annoyed. I feel like Trossard, Skelly, maybe Gokaresh comes off a little bit early. If I had to guess 3 players to come off to be the first to be subbed off, I would probably say Trossard, Skelly, and Gokaresh, actually. they would be the three that I think could come off. Right. So in terms of my moves, let me just get rid of the goals and assists. So it's really tough this week because I mean I'm going to have to get an Arsenal defender. It's just simple as that. Otherwise, there's just no point in having Arsenal defenders. I probably need an Arsenal defender. I think that I think that I'm swaying towards White. I think I'm swaying towards White, and also with White, he hit the subscribe button, guys, if you are new around here. If you are new to this stream, I don't think a lot of people are new to this stream, to be honest. I think a lot of people probably have either watched it for months or not watched it at all. But yeah, if you've not subscribed, yeah, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Back to my transfers. I do think I prefer White. Do you think I prefer White? Like, it just. I wish I had. Kind of wish I had 4 transfers this week, 4 free transfers, because ideally I don't want Pacho. I'm not massively keen on Alvarez if I'm going with a form with a quadruple Arsenal defense. But then if Atleti do score, he's probably going to be involved, isn't he? What's Alvarez's ownership at this time? If he scores, we'll feel it. We'll feel that. Scores. I don't think Pacho's going to do well at all. I think he could go, but then who would he go to? I don't really want. I mean, I could go for a Calafiori and go for the 5, or I could go for the 5th Arsenal defender, but then it would only leave me with 1 transfer. Quite tough. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do with my transfers this week. It's quite tough, to be honest. I'm probably back for the final, so White won't be going. No, well, I just had a look, and Timber, they are managing Timber. A lot of people think he's out for the season. Yeah, I could just bench Pacho, and also the key if PSG advance, Arsenal advance. I've got no PSG defenders. Obviously, we could change that before. Just nice having that in play. Look, I don't mind losing Musiala this week. Atleti are going to be very defensive, though. That's the only problem. PSG are going to be super attacking. And then if I don't have Musiala, I'm not going to gain any rank by owning Dembele, Kane, Lise, Doué, Kvaratskhelia. Those 5 players there, Dembele, Kane, Lise, Doué, and Kvaratskhelia, should be template. So the only differential I've got in tomorrow's matches is Musiala. The only problem with Musiala is that I did mention in my video that Bayern recently played Heidenheim, in which they drew 3-3. Musiala started that match. He started the game, but then they were so bad. He came off at half time. He himself was poor as well. So one of them, isn't it? Company's not happy. Musiala could well come off, but then how many minutes did Musiala get in the last? He 70 minutes. How many minutes did he get against PSG? So we played until we played till the 80th minute. And he came off for Jackson. No, he didn't. I don't think Nicholas Jackson's been used in a number 10 for a while. Against Stuttgart, he started up front. Very difficult. Transfers are so tough this week, guys. So tough. Yeah, I could go with a Bayern defender, but I don't mind Upamecano. But would I rather make two attacking transfers this week? I think White is locked now. I think I'm pretty happy with White in. I do like White. I think he's the most. I'll just transfer him out next week. It's not a major problem. It depends on who. It depends on the final, right? It depends on who goes through because a lot of people like doing the defensive stacks, don't they? A lot of people like going for in the finals. A lot of people like going big on one side or big on the other side. I don't know. Yeah, the optimal formation usually in a final is a back five. Whether that's 5-4-1, 5-3-2, it's usually a back five, the optimal strategy. Problem is, if Arsenal get knocked out, then I would, and I wanted to go for a defensive stack in the final, I would have to replace all three of those defenders there. And if Bayern get to the final, they can't really defend, can they? If it was PSG and Arsenal in the final, if it was PSG and Arsenal in the final, then there would be so many defensive stacks on PSG, defensive stacks on Arsenal. But if it was Bayern and Atleti, I don't think there'd be many stacks. If it was Bayern and Arsenal, maybe an Arsenal, maybe not many. I think the optimal final for a back five would probably be PSG versus Arsenal because you could back a stack from either side. Anyway, I'm thinking about the final way too much. Yeah, I mean, if Arsenal and PSG are knocked out, it would make the final very interesting, to be fair, because yes, everyone would obviously own Kane, Elise, Saka, but outside of that, there's not loads and loads, is there? I've Dewey and Musiala. I want Saka, and I'm thinking of selling Dewey because wait and might not start. I think Dewey will definitely start. Yeah, I mean you could do that. Musiala's at home, but he was so bad in that. He was bad against Heidenheim in the last league game, and he came off at half time. I don't know what the I don't know. I think that Doué's more likely to score than Musiala. PSG could manage the game, right? They could. I don't think we're going to see a 5-4 again. That's the thing. Oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do, guys? I honestly don't know. I really want Saka in. I think that's where I'm at. I really want Saka in, but then it's who leaves. Is it Eze or is it Musiala? It does seem a bit over the top tonight, doesn't it? Two Arsenal attackers feels a bit much. Let me just take a look. I know he only brought Saka in last week. Kind of annoyed. I'm kind of worried about his minutes as well. Got the money to do it. Well, yeah. Got the money to do that. I don't really I'm not sure between Eze and Musiala who to sell. I do think that I don't want to go into tomorrow with Dembele, Kane, Elise, Doué, Kvaratskhelia because they're all just part of a rock solid template. I think owning Musiala is at least one differential. I don't think everyone is going to buy Saka this week, so he's 6% owned. A lot of people will. A lot of people are going to buy Saka this. It looks okay so far. Like it looks okay. I think MLS is not a bad option. I do slightly worry about his minutes and that he'd come off slightly early. Kieran an Arsenal fan, he seems to think that Skelly should be okay until the 60th minute. Saka for Musiala, keep as a Diaz for Alvarez, and the defender. So yeah, but tomorrow's game would be a bit boring then. What has Aze's minutes been like? He start. Um, so against Fulham, he played 78 minutes. Saka, not Saka, sorry, Eze. He didn't actually start against Arsenal. He's been injured, hasn't he? Though, when he does start, so against Newcastle, he got injured. So so he got injured before Newcastle against City. Played 74 minutes. The left that he played. Saka, because I do like Diaz as a differential. I do like him. I'm considering him actually. I've not got to that position just yet. Saka, I think Saka is, in my opinion, Saka is the best captaincy option tonight. So Saka is definitely coming in. As he get 45 more minutes than Saka if it goes to extra time. Oh, new sub block. Mourinho's turned up. I can see as I get 45 minutes, then Saka. If tomorrow's game is high scoring like the last, owning Diaz over at Alves may be a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so I mean maybe instead of that, I just go that and that. And then him out. So that basically gives me double Arsenal tonight in attack, which I think is really interesting. I don't think a lot of people are going to have that. Selling Musiala is a little bit painful, but I have effectively replaced him with Diaz, who is 22% owned. So yeah, I mean, I'm swapping Musiala, who's a differential, to Diaz, who's template. But I think Diaz got a lot. Diaz had a lot of ownership among casuals as well. I'm considering Alves to Gokarash. I do like that. I do like Gokarash. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if Jesus, imagine if Atleti went through and Bayern went through. Imagine if Bayern and Atleti went through. I'd be in a lot of trouble. I'd only have 4 players, 5 with transfers to 9. That's worst case scenario, though, isn't it? If PSG and Atleti went through, then I would have 1, 2, 3, 5 PSG, Ruggeri, and then 5 transfers. So I would be able to get 11 players in. So the worst case scenario is that Atleti and Bayern progress. But that, I mean, that's not wild to. That isn't wild though to me, is it? That's not why. That's not a weird scenario. It could genuinely happen. I think this looks solid, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I do really like. I do really like Saka this week. I think he's the best. I'm just worried about Aze's minutes. You guys can't see this. I'm just looking at his minutes. You can see half the box, which is not ideal. Just looking at his minutes in the Champions League. I would move it, but there's just no point. So I mean, he started against Sporting and then played 79 minutes. He started against Leverkusen. He played 69. Then in the first leg, he started and played 82 minutes. Kairat, he played 90 minutes. Inter, he played 54. Bayern, he played 64. Lati 73. Bill, his minutes are okay. I mean, I think Aze's minutes are okay. Gokarash or Diaz. It depends how much Arsenal coverage you do have. If you've only got say Saka, then I don't mind Saka and Gokarash. If you've got no Arsenal attack, then get probably Gokarash. Which one do you think is the best between White and Carfield? I'm going to say White. I'm more convinced he's going to play more minutes. Lookman, Eze, or Trossard to replace Musiala. probably say Aze. I don't love Lookman this week. Cool. Sack for Aze, keep Musiala. I mean that is the other option, right? That is the other option. Then I would have a quad buy an attack, which I think is which would be differential. I honestly think that owning one Arsenal attacker makes sense this week. I do. I just think owning one makes sense. I don't think Arsenal are going to absolutely hammer Atleti. But then do I want more buy-in players? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 with Musiala 5. No, so it would be 4, wouldn't it? Four buying attackers against PSG. It's very safe, isn't it? It's very safe. Sack for Eze, keep Musiala. Yeah, we've done that one, haven't we? Yeah, that's what I'm considering. So this, I'm trying to think which one looks better. So either this one, I haven't got long to decide either. I've got 10 minutes before I have to end the stream. So it could be that Musiala comes back. Does that look better? See, I'm not 100% on Eze or Musiala this week, but with Musiala, he's they haven't both. I mean, Eze and Musiala don't have much between them, do they, to compare? Both could be a bit dodgy in terms of minutes. Both only really score wonder goals. Both have just recently come back from injuries, I think, over the last couple of weeks. So there's really not much between Eze and Musiala, really. Both play at home. I think Arsenal are going to struggle to score goals, though, and I don't think buying all. That's the thing. Hi, Armin. How are you? Alvarez or Diaz? Well, I am currently on Diaz. I'm actually selling Alvarez this week for Diaz, I think. Yeah, that would be a separate decision in itself to make, wouldn't it? Diaz or Diaz, Alvarez, Gokarash. Yeah, I'm not. Something is telling me that double Arsenal attack is not a good idea. I think I'm going to go with this. Let me just check that there's no other. Double check that no one's got injured. Ooh. Hmm. Nothing seems to have. I don't think anything major's happened in the in training, like in the warm up and stuff. Well, yeah, see you later, Kieran. Good luck this week. I honestly think that this is the way I'm going to go. We're going to more questions. No more questions. Get your questions in if you would. If you would like them answered. I think I'm going to go with this. I'm going to lock this in. I kind of wish that I don't have to sell as a, but at the same time, I just don't buy Arsenal scoring loads of goals today. Worry about all their minutes as well, you know. Like they're locked in a title race, whereas Bayern have just have won. They don't. Uh, yeah, I'm going to let's get those transfers locked in. The screen's going to go a little bit funny. I think going to go a bit funny. Bear with me, and I will sort that out. Where is it? So just make that a little bit smaller, guys. Just bear with me a sec. Yeah, so there you go. That is my team currently. I just need to obviously sort out a couple of things here. So date. Just double check that you've got all of your starters actually playing. Switched again, hasn't it? So on the screen. Yep, so that's it, guys. That is my team currently. I won't be captaining Gabriel because the problem is if he does get a 7-pointer, you're not going to want to come off that. You think about it. So I had to move it, didn't I? Yeah, so if you think about it, say if Gabriel did pick up a clean sheet, right? Maybe a ball recovery point or two. It's going to be a 7-8 pointer. Now, do you want an 8-pointer from your captain when Harry Kane, Elise, Kvaratskhelia, and Dembele are playing the next day? I don't think you do. So you're basically locking yourself into keeping an 7-8 point return if they keep a clean sheet. I think Saka's the play here because Saka could do really well in this game. I always say you need a massive haul before those PSG and Bayern attack play to lock captaincy in, because we know how capable they are, right? We've seen massive hauls from Bayern and PSG players most weeks. It feels like. So if you're settling for a 7-8 point, you could find yourself in a bit. You'll have a nice little lift tonight in terms of rank. You do not want to be against those guys tomorrow who have captained these attackers. So that is my team. Let me just refresh that quickly and just make sure that it has loaded. It's probably going to mess up again on the screen there. I am pretty confident that I'm going to captain Saka this week, and that is not because I think he's going to go. Not because I think he's going to go all out and start smashing it and getting double-digit hauls. He could, but the other options just aren't good. They're just not good enough. They just don't have the potential to haul, in my opinion. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people will move away from a Gabriel 8-pointer if he gets it, but a lot of people won't. I'm definitely captaining Saka this week. Yeah, yeah. As he's gone now. I mean, I'd be a bit annoyed if he did well, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you guys have enjoyed the stream, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It means you'll get updated. You'll be notified when I go live. This is my penultimate live stream, guys. So sad times. We're coming to the end of the season now. I'm looking forward to the final stream as well, though. There's always a lot to talk about in the final because it's the last roll of the dice in terms of rank gain, isn't it? And people are always on different strategies, defensive stacks, go all out attack. I'm very interested to see who's going to be in the final. But yeah, it's kind of sad as well because I have enjoyed these streams with you guys. So yeah, hit the like button, but please make sure to subscribe now if you haven't already. Again, I regularly produce FPL content as well. You can check out my latest differentials videos. I've picked out some of the best differentials for game week 36 just to help boost rank, just before the end of the season. Some nice differentials in there as well, some differentials I'm considering, so be sure to check that video out. Hit subscribe. Yeah, no problem at all. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you for those who have joined and got their questions in and stuff like that. Really appreciate it. I don't think I've missed any super chats. We'll just double check because I did miss one last week from Alan, and I was quite gutted about that. So I missed his question. I don't think I've had any super chats. I just need to double check. Good luck this week, guys. Make sure you confirm. Make sure you confirm those transfers. Make sure your players who are dated to tomorrow are on the bench. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I've really enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys again soon. Good luck.